Hi everyone, welcome to Golden Eagle IAS. Okay, in this video, I'm planning to start ancient Indian history, which is entirely focused towards preliminary exam. Okay, here I'm not going to talk about the stories of how the human evolved from the unicellular organism and why humans were settled like that, and those stories I'll try to skip it out most of the area. It is solely prepared towards the preliminary exam because it will be used for your reference purpose and revision purpose. Okay, without further ado, we'll start the class. We'll start from Paleolithic period. Everyone know what is Paleolithic period. Okay, so Paleolithic period, before Paleolithic period I'll just give you some intro. Okay, the human history was divided into three parts. Okay, which is prehistory, then you have proto history, then you have proper history. Okay, prehistory means it's a period we don't have any written records. Okay, we don't have any written records, that is prehistory. Proto history, if you take, there is a written records. Okay, but we can't understand those things. Okay, that is proto history. If you take proper history, we have written records, also we can understand those records. Okay, if you take proto history, it was started from IVC, because before IVC we don't have any written record for reference to human evolution. If we take proper history, we can say after Ashoka's edicts. Okay, that is, we can say proper edicts, we can understand from that. Okay, then in a prehistoric period we have something called how human evolved from those things. We can understand from those products. What are all those products? You can understand how human evolved, or how human lived in those time using their stone tools, then pottery, then artifacts of those period, then metal implements or metal implants of those period. Using those things, you can understand the evolution or distribution of human being throughout the world, especially Indian continent. Okay, then if you take Paleolithic history, I said Paleolithic, right? If we take Paleolithic period, there is a Paleolithic period was differentiated as three period. Okay, if you take Paleolithic was categorized as three different phases. First one was lower or early Paleolithic, then middle Paleolithic, then upper Paleolithic. Okay, Paleolithic period was usually categorized from 1 lakh BC to 10,000 BC. Okay, around the Ice Age period. Everybody know Ice Age. We saw the movie, right? Around the Ice Age period. Okay. If you take early Paleolithic, means it's early. It comprised more than 90% of the time period. It was around, up to or later point of 1 lakh BC. If you take middle Paleolithic, it is 1 lakh BC to 10,000, 40,000 BC. Upper Paleolithic was 40,000 BC to 10,000 BC. Okay, this is the three phases of Paleolithic age. You have to understand certain traits are associated with Paleolithic. What are those traits? Means you have the sites was largely located near water sources. The sites are largely located near water sources. Why? Because human beings that time they lived life as hunters and gatherers. Okay, so they need water, and so usually the settlement was near to water sources. Also, several rock shelters and caves used by Paleolithic people are scattered in the subcontinent, especially Indian subcontinent. Okay, we call them as Homo sapiens. Okay, because Homo sapiens is the early or first appearance of a human being in the earth. Okay, it was the Homo sapiens also appeared in the world in later or upper Paleolithic. Okay, last phase of Paleolithic. In the upper Paleolithic phase only, Homo sapiens also appeared. Before that, we have the people was transition phase from chimpanzee or ape towards the human phase. That is located during the period of middle and lower Paleolithic period. Okay, only humanoid fossil found in Hantunara in the Narmada Valley. There is only one human fossil in India. If you take in India, only one humanoid fossil was found. Okay, the Homo sapiens. It was in Hantunara, which was located in Narmada Valley. Okay, I was trying to go as much as slow because it was kind of a revision classes. It is not an entire lecture. I'm not going to take. So it was a kind of revision lecture. So I'll mostly giving you the pointers. Some important areas I'll provide explanation also. So don't expect the entire lecture will be provided here. Okay. Then another important prelims based question was the Paleolithic man was called as quartzite man because the quartzite mineral was largely used for creation of stone tools during that time. Okay, I already separate the Paleolithic as lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic and upper Paleolithic. Some important sites for lower Paleolithic, if you take, there are many sites are there. Some important sites were Atirampakam in Chennai. Then you have Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Then Karnool in Andhra Pradesh. Then if you take middle Paleolithic, the important sites for Balan Valley, which was located in Uttar Pradesh. Then Bhimbetka, same, it was located in Madhya Pradesh. Then Luni Valley, where the Luni Valley, it was in Rajasthan. Okay. Then if you take upper Paleolithic, I already told you the emergence of Homo sapiens. Okay. Also, the important sites are Balan Valley, I told you, right? Uttar Pradesh. Balan Valley, then Sun Valley, then Bhopal, you guys know, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Bhopal, Bhimbetka, those things are in Madhya Pradesh. Paintings of Bhimbetka, we all know in art and culture, I think so everybody studied the Bhimbetka paintings of early human face was very important. Okay, the hunting, gathering and animal painting. Okay, it was largely, these paintings are towards the period of upper Paleolithic. Okay, largely these paintings are towards upper Paleolithic only. Okay, so what you have to remember from the Paleolithic period means you have to remember minimum 3 to 4 points. They are quartzite man, emergence of Homo sapiens, then the important valleys and places which was emerged during Paleolithic phase in India. Then you have to remember the time scale of upper Paleolithic, lower Paleolithic and middle Paleolithic. That's it for Paleolithic. That's sufficient, more than sufficient for Paleolithic. Okay. Then if you take Mesolithic means meso means middle. It was in the middle of Neolithic and Paleolithic. That's why it was called as Mesolithic. Okay, if you take some key highlight points of Mesolithic, the important thing you have to remember was there is a emergence of usage of tiny stone artifacts. Okay, tiny stone artifacts, because they are using very small scale tools to hunt the animals. Okay, then the maximum size was usually up to 5 centimeter. Then there is a human settled for longer periods in an area because the settlement kind of living they started, but actually they are not started in Mesolithic, but we can assume because there is a longer period stay in particular area. Okay, but actually started in Neolithic only. When in an exam preliminary, if they are giving a statement, the settlement of human beings was started in Neolithic phase, that's correct. Okay, then another important thing you have to remember in Mesolithic was domestication of animals. Domestication of animals, because before they get to know the different kind of animals. Some animals like cow, sheep, they are not going to go for a fight. Okay, so they remember these kind of animals and they created a domestication of these animals. Okay, then preparation of or started cultivation of horticulture. Okay, and primitive agriculture or primitive cultivation. But actual agriculture and plantation was started in Neolithic. Okay, primitive cultivation was started here in Mesolithic. The Mesolithic, the time period was, you can say, around 10,000 BC to 10,000 BC to 6,000 BC. Okay, then burials of dead along with some microliths and tools. The kind of afterlife, or people believe why they are going to bury the people with their tools and products. Okay, burial was started. Before that, there is no burial. If you take some Chinese kind of movies and all, they said maximum in Buddhism and Jainism, if they want to say something, I'm going to kill you without burial kind of. Okay, because the burial was very very important in most of the cultures, in especially in Asia. Okay, because people believe burial only, actual burial only give the human soul freedom or moksha kind of thing. Okay, so burial was started in Mesolithic itself. In burial also they added the dead person's stone tools with their body. Okay, so you have to remember burial was started in Mesolithic period, not Neolithic period, not Paleolithic period. Okay, then I give you all the important points for Mesolithic. You have to remember some important Mesolithic sites. Okay, sites, important Mesolithic sites you have to remember. Begar, Rajasthan. Then Adamgarh, it was located in Madhya Pradesh. Then Balan Valley, I already told you, in Uttar Pradesh. Then Tirunelveli or Tinnaveli. Okay, that time it was called as Tinnaveli or Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu. Okay, these are all the things you have to remember for Mesolithic. This is more than sufficient for Mesolithic. Then we go for Neolithic. Right, I'll change the color to somewhat lighter. Neolithic. Neolithic period or New Stone Age, it was started around 7000 BC. There was an overlap between Neolithic and Mesolithic in some areas. Especially if you take southern India, there is no Neolithic period. We have megalithic culture. Okay, the large stone culture. I'll talk about that within a minute, within some time. Okay, Neolithic 7000 BC to up to IVC. Okay, usually you can take up to 2500 up to IVC you can take generally. Okay, Neolithic period. So the Neolithic period, if you take key points for Neolithic period, it was in India Neolithic period. In world, if you take, it is 9000 BC. In India it was 7000 BC only. Okay, Neolithic period for India, it is 7000 BC started. Then the important characteristics for the agriculture was started. Okay, sedentary life of human beings was started. Here also domestication of animals. Domestication of animals. Then before that, in Paleolithic they roughly used the stone tools. In Mesolithic they used the small stone tools up to 5 centimeter. But if you go for Neolithic, they use the polished stone tools because they are thinking, right? The human beings are evolving. Polished stone tools. Okay, they started using polished stone tools. Then if you go, there is an important development in Mesolithic was the manufacturing of pottery. Sorry, not Mesolithic, it's a Neolithic. Manufacturing of pottery. This is the important development during Neolithic. Comparing to agriculture or domestication, polishing of stone tools, this is the important characteristics you have to memorize in accordance to Neolithic period. Okay. Then, because I already told you sedentary life, if you take sedentary life, there is a formation of village community. It was started. Then obviously pottery means they are preparing from sand. So this time they know about fire also, wheel also. So obviously from sand they create bricks and they started to live in mud brick houses. Instead of caves, they started to live in mud brick houses. Okay, they know about fire and making of pottery, because to make a pottery and mud brick houses you need to know about fire, right? So I already told you agriculture. Agriculture, the important you can take like important crops are rice, barley, wheat and millets. Okay, these are all the important crops during that time. Then obviously the burial was started here in Mesolithic itself. They are going to continue in a larger extent. So large ones was used for burial here. Okay, these are all the key points for Neolithic. I think so. I made a point how Paleolithic, Neolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic human beings are evolved, are using more technologies comparing to different ages, because human beings are evolving. Okay, here you have to understand pottery also. There is a different kind of pottery for each ages. For IVC, for Chalcolithic, for Neolithic, every period have different set of potteries. Here you can say the pottery for Neolithic was black burnished ware or grey ware. Okay, black burnished ware pottery was used here. Okay, then agriculture, domestication, everything was covered. Then we have to remember important sites for Neolithic. The important sites was Burza home and Gufukral. Burza home and Gufukral in Jammu Kashmir. This is the first time you are having the site in Jammu Kashmir and Neolithic. This one also you can remember. Suppose a statements, if they give Jammu Kashmir period sites in Mesolithic or Paleolithic, you can easily eliminate the statement. Okay, then Chapani Mando, then Payampatti, which was located in Tamil Nadu. Then Garo Hills, this is also first time northeastern sides. Garo Hills in Meghalaya. Okay, these are all the important sites you have to remember for Neolithic. Then we can go to Chalcolithic. Chalcolithic means Chalcolithic. It's a period of copper. Okay, so period of copper. That's why it was called as Chalco. Period was around 4000 BC to 1500 BC. This was also up to Vedic era, because in Vedic era you are having iron, so that is called as Iron Age or Iron Phase. Okay, So Chalcolithic people are, you can, how to define Chalcolithic people means, because you can say these people are barbarians, Neolithic and those people are barbarians, but they started sedentary life. But Chalcolithic people are evolved from barbarians, but they are not urban people like IVC. Also, they are not Harappans. They are different. Okay, you have to remember this differentiation between Chalcolithic people and Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so another thing, another takeaway you can take here was first time use of metal. Okay, metal was first time used in Chalcolithic period, not IVC, not Vedic period. It was first time used in Chalcolithic period. Okay, then here you have to know the facts. What are all the facts you have to remember here was culture was based on stone and copper. Okay, here also stone tools was used predominantly, but copper tools was also started. Okay, stone and copper. Then flourishing of stone blade industry, from agriculture to village to they are starting industries. Okay, agriculture to manufacturing, they come here. Services was started in IVC. Okay, stone blade industry. Then basically here they are village economy, they are not urban people like IVC, they are village economy. Obviously pottery will be there, but I already told you pottery, you have to remember what kind of pottery they are making in a different period. For Chalcolithic they started to making black red ware. Okay, they started to making black red ware pottery. Then some tools and technology you can remember easily: metal or crafting, metal arty crafts, those things were started. Then terracotta figures, those things are not important for preliminary perspective. In mains also Chalcolithic was not going to play a very important role, but you just remember the, you know, the different sites here also. Same sites are going to come here, like Ahar, Malwa, then you have Godavari, Krishna. Every river you have some Chalcolithic sites. Okay, usually the sites based question come for Neolithic, Mesolithic and Paleolithic. Chalcolithic, I think there is no question in test series also. Just remember these things, that's more than sufficient. But in Chalcolithic we have four type of culture. Suppose if any test series they are asking question, you can remember that there is four cultures in Chalcolithic period. First one was Jorwe, second one was Malwa, third one was Kayata, fourth one was Ahar. Okay, there is a time period for different cultures was there, that is not required for you. You just can remember Jorwe culture was related to Maharashtra area. Malwa culture obviously Madhya Pradesh. Kayata culture, you have Kayata region of Kali Sindh, Narmada, Tapi. Then Ahar, it was obviously related to Rajasthan. Okay, I already told you Meghalith culture, right? Just one point that you can remember. Meghalith culture, it was related to southern India. Meghalith people who claimed to be lived in the upland portions of peninsula during the 2nd century, around 2000 to 200 BC, during around Sangam period, before Sangam period, before Sangam period in southern India. Okay, they did not have very much advanced in agriculture, but this Megalithic culture during that time, nowadays called as Tamilakam, the Megalithic culture was usually identified with the using of large stones. Okay, lith means stone, large stones. Okay, that is sufficient for Meghalith. Then we can move on to IVZ. I think so everything will be clear for you guys. I just give you pointers or kind of fact based class only, because in ancient India you are hardly getting, hardly maximum you are going to get 2 to 3 question maximum in preliminary. Okay, if you take mains, hardly you are going to get 1 to 2 question. 1 to 2 question. Also, one question is going to come from religion, especially Buddhism, Jainism, and their impact. It is going to come there. Okay, remaining one question, sometimes they are going to ask from IVC or different technological development during those time, kind of they are going to ask. So hardly 1 or 2 question only, maximum 1 or 2. Sometimes the questions will not come from ancient itself in mains. So for 2 to 3 question, you have to remember the cost benefit ratio. You should not study the things like everything or book wise. You don't have to read the ancient India book 2 to 3 times. Okay, just read it 1 time, then take the important notes, because in my lecture I'll give you all the important pointers. There is nothing else going to come from whatever I'm teaching, but you have to remember the things, because mostly everything was fact based one. Okay, so it's a fact based one. So there is not much of understanding going to play a role here, but questions are sometimes going to ask in understanding way also. That is, those understanding kind of questions came from Buddhism, Jainism, IVC, then Rigvedic period, early Vedic and later Vedic. Then the status of women in different rulers like Kushans or Guptas, Mauryas, how the status of women, Shudras, those status, and different introductions of various policies and projects implemented by various rulers. Those things only going to ask from films. But recent trend of question was, especially they are asking the officials and officers names. It was kind of a hectic only, because there is too much of officials for every dynasty. You have to mug it up. There is no other way if you want to attempt that question. Okay, but my suggestion was, whatever I'm teaching is more than sufficient for ancient history. Okay, ancient, medieval, art and culture, you can just follow my lectures. That's more than sufficient. I'm going to provide all the things which are going to ask which are already asked in many test series, and which I already refer previous year questions also. I'm going to give pointers related to those questions only. Okay, if you want to add something, you can add from your own notes. Okay, that's my session. Then I think so I'll provide the short videos. Okay, this completed, this is just a lecture 1 in ancient India. Then lecture 2 I'll cover IVC and Rigvedic period. Okay, in lecture 3 in lecture 3 I'll cover Buddhism and Jainism, because after Rigvedic we have a religion, Buddhism and Jainism. Then fourth lecture I'll cover Mahajanapatas and Persian invasion, then Mauryan Empire. Fifth lecture will go for post-Mauryan period. Post-Mauryan period, what we have, especially Satavahanas, Shakas, Kushans, that's sufficient. Then we have Gupta period. This is also I'll cover it in fifth lecture. Sixth lecture I will cover Harshavardhana and Sangam. Okay, just a 6 videos. Hardly every video will consist of half an hour to 45 minutes only. Okay, so obviously you can cover it within 3 hours, entire ancient history. Okay, if you have any doubts, comment on the video. Also subscribe to our channel, join our Telegram channel also. Okay, we'll provide daily quizzes and daily important news articles we are providing in Telegram channel. Thank you.